What up, YouTube? I thought you could keep me company while I do the dishes. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Seems just kind of like a natural thing for humans to like chat with someone over doing dishes, but mommy and my baby are taking a nap, and 5-year-old's watching some Barbie show. Um, yeah, I was thinking of a couple of topics. I'm so tired today, but oh yeah. First one was yeah, just kind of the strange social situation that I'm in. But I also feel like I'm not the only one in this situation, that life has become so mediated by technology and everyone is more atomized than ever before. So just kind of the natural spontaneous arising social life just doesn't really happen anymore. So you kind of have to reach out to people. And there's just something awkward about asking someone to hang out. I feel like in our ancestral environment, there wasn't really like asking someone to hang out. Like life just happens. You would go hunting with people. You would talk to people around the campfire. Obviously, plans were made. Especially probably during wartime, you have to coordinate, and that's another thing that's been lost with technology. You just text someone. It's crazy. Like as technology has gotten better, I feel like people have gotten more and more incompetent in terms of actually meeting up. Like when I was growing up, there was no cell phone, so you said, "Oh, I'll meet you here at 4." But now, even with the phone, people are like flakier than ever. Like they're like, "Oh, I went there and you weren't there," and people are telling each other they're running late, and somehow they still can't find each other. But yeah, it's just I don't know what the solution is. I used to think when I was in my 20s that the solution was to go live on in some intentional community, some hippie place where people grew their own food, and it wasn't so much about kind of the kumbaya holding hands, weird spiritual beliefs. Like that wasn't really my bag, but I did like the idea of communal living, pooling resources, maybe sharing access to a car, stuff like that. But the problem with these places is that you get a lot of lost souls who are coming in with tons of emotional baggage, even more than your average person, maybe myself included at that time. Well, there's really no maybe about it. So the idea that people grew up with technology and consumerism and social isolation and social awkwardness are magically going to come together and they'll be able to cooperate together without any drama in a situation like that is highly unrealistic. That's not to put down community living or people trying to create intentional communities or trying to do co-housing or pool resources. It's just not necessarily so easy to actually pull it off. Um, but if you can pull it off, more power to you. Um, so yeah, I got a few more dishes, but I'll do them in the next video. So yeah, the whole having to kind of put yourself out there to just kind of meet up and talk without a clear purpose, it's really tricky, and maybe more so for men because men are kind of more like um, I don't want to say action oriented, like because that sounds kind of like sexist, like women don't do shit, but it more kind of about shared activities, less like enthused to just kind of sit and look at another dude's face and just talk for an hour. Um, and yeah, the lack of building, the lack of trades, a lot. Yeah, it's just you buy stuff. Amazon guy comes to your door, he gives it to you. It's like crappy, it breaks, and then you order. You have to order another part. Like I don't know. There's just something very kind of romantic and magical about the idea of being able to build stuff. I mean, obviously you need raw materials, you need metal, you need plastic. These days, I'm not trying to like live in a log cabin like Abraham Lincoln, but there's just something just profoundly icky and disempowering about just looking about my life and just knowing that I don't know very much at all about how a refrigerator works or how my water filter works. I mean, I know a bit about my bicycle, although embarrassingly, I haven't changed a tire in like 20 years. So I'd be hard pressed to, you know, I think if you had a gun to my head, I could change a flat. But yeah, the like slow de-skilling and dependency that people are getting on, a small number of corporations is a bit distressing. And yeah, I can't speak for the whole world, obviously, but yeah, I feel like the more people become isolated and atomized and specialized, it's like there's a sense of embarrassment. At least I have that within myself, that I know so little about the world that I inhabit. And yeah, it makes me embarrassed to like hang out with people. Like, I don't have that much to talk about. I don't really have that much power control over my own life. There's like a feeling of incompetence, and it's like deeply humiliating. And yeah, and of course my circumstances are unique. I'm an expat who's not even a proper resident here in UK, so I can't work, can't drive. um, yeah, and I could try to find something in like the informal economy, but the problem is that I have to go back to the States to see my older daughter. So I have a lot of like, I mean, this is everybody, right? Everyone has whatever kind of the societal trends. On top of that is whatever your life situation is. Now, if your life situation is you're really rich, then I feel like it's a good time to be alive, because you can take advantage of all this technology, all the upside, and minimize the downside, and you can kind of live around other people who have more free time, who have more resources, who kind of have more, I don't want to say consciousness because that sounds like elitist and arrogant, but kind of the space to really think about life, to really think about the choices they make, whereas where so many people are just, you know, they have an idea of eating healthy, for example, but I mean, they barely have the time to go to the grocery store, let alone get vegetables, cook vegetables. Um, they might have ideals about social life and giving back to their community, but they just don't have the avenue to do that. So I'm going to cap this before 10 minutes. But yeah, I think I'll title it "If You Have to Ask." I mean, the expression is, "If you have to ask, you'll never know." But yeah, I feel like if you have to ask for socialization, there's just something awkward about it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't you know go out and make friends and be social, but it's I mean, I always tell my girlfriends, like, if the she has if her daughter is playing with another kid, like at soft play at the park, I'm like, oh, yo, go be her friend. But then it's not so easy as that, right? Like, it's not so easy to just go up to someone and connect with them. And also there is a safety in isolation, right? Like, when you're isolated, you're lonely, you think, oh, it'd be cool if I had more friends. But I've been alive long enough to have known enough crazy people that there's kind of a kind of comfort and safety in isolation. And I think that's also one of the reasons why we like our technology, even if we hate it. We like Uber Eats, we like the delivery driver coming to our house and then going away, um, because other people are tricky. And the more isolated and weird and socially awkward we become, the more weird everyone else becomes, and the more we're reluctant to let them in our life. And then we don't want to be that weird one who's who weirds other people out. So it's tricky. I don't know. If you have ideas, put them in the comments. It's weird pointing down, right? Awkward. Anyway,